Today we're going to be discussing Castle Doctrine and stand your ground legislation. First, let's talk about stand your ground. Really, the better way to think about stand your ground laws are as no duty to retreat laws. There are a couple of hoops legally that you have to jump through in order to be able to stand your ground and have no legal duty to retreat. We'll take each one in turn. The first step is that you cannot be a trespasser in the place that you would like to use stand your ground. Essentially, you have to have a legal right to be where you are. This is pretty easy for most of us. You have a legal right to be at the grocery store, you have a legal right to be on a public street. There are very few of us who go places in our everyday life where we have no legal right to be. Step 2, you cannot be committing a criminal act while you want to use stand your ground. This is also pretty easy for most of us. Gun owners are very law-abiding people, so not many of us are committing criminal acts. Luckily, there's an exception for those of you out there who might have a lead foot, in that the criminal act has to be over and above a Class C offense relating to traffic. Step 3 is that you can't have provoked the interaction in which you'd like to use stand your ground. So, let's review the first 3 steps again. They're really easy for gun owners and for good people. Step 1, be somewhere you have a legal right to be. Step 2, be doing legal things. Don't commit any criminal act over and above a Class C traffic offense. Step 3, don't provoke the interaction that ends in deadly force. There's only one more hoop that you need to jump through, and that's that your use of deadly force was justified under Chapter 9 of the Texas Penal Code. All that means is that you reasonably believed that your use of deadly force was immediately necessary in order to respond to the attacker, to the force or deadly force that was being used against you. So, as long as all 4 of those requirements are met, you've lawfully used stand your ground, you had no duty to retreat, and it shouldn't be argued in your trial that you should have retreated before using force or deadly force. The Castle Doctrine provides different protections than stand your ground, but actually encompasses part of stand your ground. The Castle Doctrine says that if you're in your occupied castle, that's your occupied dwelling, your occupied vehicle, or your occupied place of business, and someone tries to forcefully and unlawfully enter, or forcefully and unlawfully remove you from that castle, you get 2 important protections. The first protection is that you're presumed reasonable if you use force or deadly force against that attacker trying to make entry into your occupied castle. The second protection is the absolute right to stand your ground within your own castle. Castle Doctrine and stand your ground are essential pieces of gun law that every gun owner should know. Understanding the differences and understanding what your rights are can always keep you out of legal hot water.